Hey fans, and welcome back to another playoff edition of The Blitz, brought to you by our friends at First Federal Savings of Lorain. I'm your host, Rocco Nucci, with the one and only Kristen Bauer behind the camera. Again, it is Week 12. Regional quarterfinal action is here this week. We'll have 3 games for you on WEOL, and of course, you can read up on everything in the Chronicle Telegram. Before we dive into the matchups, make sure you like and subscribe to that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. That's the best way to keep up to date with all the latest videos and all of the latest content. So turn on those notifications. Again, like and subscribe to the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. Well, before we get into quarterfinal action, what happened in the first round in Week 11? Well, first and foremost, I should say we are here at Dan Reeser Stadium, home of the Elyria Catholic Panthers. This wonderful scoreboard behind us, brought to you by the Kelly Family Foundation, Jack Mattia, and the Reeser Family Foundation. And there was history made here this past Friday night, folks, as running back Levi Ellis is now the all-time leading rusher in Elyria Catholic history, so a huge congratulations goes out to Levi Ellis for that. They had a huge 43-0 win, over Bryan in the regional first round. Al McKinney was the all-time leading rusher here at EC, 4,789 yards for that man. Well, that record stands no more, as again, Levi Ellis, he breaks that. 4,811 current total rushing yards for Levi Ellis in his Elyria Catholic career. So again, a huge shout out goes out to Levi Ellis. We'll have more on the EC Panthers here shortly. I also want to give a congratulations to Elyria, Lorain, Firelands, North Ridgeville, and Black River. Their seasons all came to a close this past Friday with playoff losses, but congratulations to those teams on hard-fought seasons and success throughout the regular season to those 5 schools right there. North Ridgeville, I'll tell you what, folks, they came very close to knocking off Anthony Wayne, a very prominent team that many in our area have become familiar with throughout the postseason. The Rangers had a fourth quarter lead going into that one. They just couldn't hang on. But with a lot of sophomores and freshmen in that starting lineup for Coach Brian Morgan, I think that's a very dangerous North Ridgeville team for many years to come. Speaking of running backs, as we talked about Levi, how about Columbia Raider running back Marco Sirigliano, one of my favorite names here in Lorain County. He broke 2,000 yards for the season, folks, as he had 247 yards on the ground in a win over Mapleton. So shout out to Marco and shout out to the Raiders for a win there. And both Avon and Avon Lake out of the SWC, they get shutout wins week 1. Avon knocking off Westlake, Avon Lake knocking off Sylvania Southview in 2 very, very impressive wins. The Shoremen held Southview to just 40 total yards offensively, not just in a half, not just in the first quarter, but through the game. Southview just 40 yards of offense mustered against Coach Kostelnik's squad. And for Avon, Coach Elder, that's his 2nd consecutive shutout for his defense, an Eagles defense that he has praised pretty much this entire second half of the season, and a unit that really could help propel Avon to where their goals are, which of course, as we know for Coach Elder, is winning that state championship game. So there's kind of what happened in Week 11 here in Week 12. Again, regional quarterfinal action. Let's go quickly division by division here. Division 2, Region 6, right back with those Avon Eagles. They will play host to North Royalton, the 9 seed. Again, the Eagles are the top seed there. North Royalton went 7-4. They come into this one 7-4, I should say. Winners of 3 in a row. So they've been playing much better football after just a 2-5 start for North Royalton. They played an undefeated Hudson team, very, very tough, but lost in the regular season. But again, this is an Eagles team that is rolling right now. They're clicking on all cylinders, and they've got the defense to match that very high, potent offense. So this is an Eagles team that I expect them to win this week over North Royalton and keep their playoff run going. Olmsted Falls will be at White House Anthony Wayne this week. The Bulldogs had a nice opening win over Toledo St. John's, a playoff opening win, I should say. So again, that sets them up with Anthony Wayne. That's a 5 versus a 4 there. 6-seeded Avon Lake hits the road this week in a tough one for Coach Kostelnik's Shoremen. They will be at Toledo Central Catholic to take on the Fighting Irish. Again, another one of those teams that we know all about them here in Lorain County, as Avon and Avon Lake have had their fair share of battles with those guys. Now, I'll tell you what, don't count the Shoremen out on this one. I know this is a Toledo Central Catholic team, which, look, they're very good. We caught up with Southview's coach last week, who kind of told us they're an all-star team of sorts with a bunch of Division I recruits. Brown's offensive lineman James Hudson actually graduated from Toledo Central Catholic. That kind of tells you a little bit about what they're all about. But Avon Lake, they last saw Toledo Central Catholic in 2020. The Shoremen got a postseason win in that one, but the Irish beat Avon Lake, back in 2018 in a playoff matchup. So this is a battle that's kind of gone back and forth, and it should be a good one Friday night, no doubt about that. In Division 4, Region 14, right here at Dan Reeser Stadium, those Elyria Catholic Panthers, they welcome in Clear Fork, the 10-1 Colts. They're out of Belleville in Richland County. They won the Mid-Ohio Athletic Conference, and so far this season, it's been a dominant one for them, outscoring opponents by an average of 40-17. How do they do it? It all starts with their quarterback, senior Victor Skoog. Fantastic name, but he's a tough guy to stop. He had 290 passing yards and 2 touchdowns in their playoff opening win. He had a 90-yard strike as well. He also ran for 88 yards and a touchdown, so he's a guy that can do it both with his arm and his legs, a guy that EC is going to have to stop. And don't forget about their running back, Pawi Alt, 182 yards, 4 touchdowns for that young man in their Friday night win. So that's a very tough duo for Elyria Catholic to try and stop. But this Panther defense, I think they're certainly up for the task. They're practicing over on the other side of us right now. I'm sure if I went and asked Coach Fox, he'd tell you they're ready to go. For this Panther defense, look, they got to get stops, and I think if you can force some 3-and-outs, maybe some turnovers, they'll find themselves in good shape. And finally, Division 6, Region 22, Hopewell Loudon will be at Columbia. This is a 6-3 matchup here. This will be our Stream 2 game. By the way, Elyria Catholic's on the radio in Stream 1, but our Stream 2 game, Loudon at Columbia. This should be a good one. The Chieftains are 9-2 coming into this one. They beat Seneca East to get here. They were in the state Final Four last year. They have a plethora of fantastic players. One in particular, Braylon Martinez. He's kind of their star tailback. He had 11 touchdowns last week, just under 1,000 yards. He has 11 touchdowns, on the season, not just last week. That'd be ridiculous. 11 touchdowns on the season, just under 1,000 rushing yards, but he's averaging just under 6 a carry. So he's a very explosive player, very dangerous, somebody that you have to try and bring down in the backfield. And when they go to the air, Blake Barrier, a very talented receiver, very dangerous, 11 touchdowns through the air for him this season, but he's also got 8 interceptions defensively, and Martinez has 5 interceptions defensively himself. So these two guys, they play both ways, and you have to know where they're at on the field at all times. Will Coach Ward's crew be able to handle them? We will find out. As Columbia, they have to win the battle up front. I think they got to control the tempo, control the clock as they did last week in their opening win, and I think they'll find themselves in good shape. And again, that is our Stream 2 game. And I should mention our Medina County matchup on Stream 3 back in Division 2, Region 6. 7th-seeded North Olmsted is at 2nd-seeded Medina Highland. So our 3 games on WEOL this week, again, here for you quickly on the radio and Stream 1. It's 5th-seeded Clear Fork here at 4th-seeded Elyria Catholic. On Stream 2, it's 6th-seeded Hopewell Loudon at 3rd-seeded Columbia. And our Medina County matchup on Stream 3, 7th-seeded North Olmsted visits 2nd-seeded Medina Highlands. So that'll do it for this week. Again, a big thank you to Elyria Catholic for having us out this week. Again, throwing that logo up on the beautiful scoreboard behind us here at Dan Reeser Stadium. That scoreboard brought to you by the Kelly Family Foundation, Jack Mattia, and the Reeser Family Foundation. So for Kristen Bauer, I'm Rocco Nucci saying thank you for listening to The Blitz, brought to you by our friends at First Federal Savings of Lorain. Good luck to all of our local teams. We'll see you next week.